weren't supposed to do this challenge, this physical experience alone with our human physical mind.
No.
It's that physical mind that gives us the survival mechanism to be able to stay alive here in this physical experience, but it's primal.
Yeah.
And when we connect in with the higher mind, it's like a co-pilot. It's like a helicopter showing us which direction to go into, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier.
Exactly. Yeah. Where am I going again? Yeah, absolutely.
Meanwhile, physical mind's trying to get through the grass and trying to see your meters ahead. But if you've got that connection to your higher mind, whatever you want to call it, soul, higher mind, it's just an incredible life that you get to experience.
Absolutely. And to do that, continue that journey of self-healing, because that's powerful as well. And that's something that I've found on my journey is the more I lean into learning more about myself and doing that work that, okay, I'm triggered here. Why am I triggered? Let's go down that road. Let's see what life is mirroring me. And we take accountability for what's going on around us, and everything is, as science is backing that now, that we're being reflected on, and what's happening around us is usually a mirror. I find that even with the animals, our pets often mimic who we are. So if you want to know a bit more about somebody, meet their animal and you'll get a lot of information about that person. We attract those animals for a reason. I think they're the master healers, really. That's the closest thing I get to when Spirit have shown me, and this is just my interpretation of the energy when we connect with the spirit world, there's this unconditional love. And it's just like, I can't explain the feeling. Probably the closest I could say is for those that have had a child, when you first look at that newborn, that instant feeling you get, that's probably the closest I could describe it as. But also our animals give that to us as well.
They really do.
That's unconditional love.
Hello and welcome to the Healing Tree Hub Season 4. Today I have a beautiful guest. I have been waiting for her to join this podcast for quite some time, and I've got the lovely Tonia Reeves, the Cowgirl medium, our Australian celebrity medium, which I'm so excited to welcome you here. So welcome,
You're so
Tonia.
kind. Thank you.
No, I mean it. I have really been looking forward to having you on the show because we have so many friends in the same circles. I have heard so much about you, yet never, ever, ever a negative thing. Everything has been positive. Everything has been about what kind of character you have, who you are, how grounded you are, and how many people you've helped in the industry. So I had to have you on the show for that reason.
Oh, thank you. That's so beautiful.
And you happen to be an absolutely extraordinary medium.
I love it.
I've watched your shows. Brilliant. Anyway, enough about me and my opinion. I want you to introduce yourself.
Oh, now I feel really like, oh my goodness. If the camera was close, I'm blushing. Thank you. That's so beautiful. I really love mediumship. I'm really passionate about it. And to me, the whole journey, really looking back from the beginning to, the years sort of that preceded that, it's just been it's like an enfoldment of things, and it really has been between teachers that I found to connecting back to prior to me doing this. I had connections with them, and it's uncanny, the stories, and I love sharing them because I think it's great to inspire others, and that to me is what it's about. Is I'm just a normal everyday person. I'm not perfect by any means. I do the best I can, but I do love what I do. So I feel honoured every day I wake up and I'm like, I'm so lucky. I really feel lucky.
Pretty amazing job, isn't it?
It is. And you understand that because you're the same. And it's like, I think if we can all kind of get to that stage where we feel like that's our daily life is doing what we have passion for, really that's the crux of our to me, between that and being surrounded by amazing people and being able to help people is part of that journey. And I think the more you kind of embrace that and really immerse yourself into it, really. So it's like, it's not just, I'm on stage, so I'm going to put on a show now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not every reading is as important as, you know, the one before. And every person that comes to you, whether it's somebody that might be struggling mentally or, you know, can't afford a reading and they really need it. It's like stepping up to say, I'm going to help you. And I don't expect anything in return. And to me, that's what it's about. Like, the more we can lean into that, it's, you know, it's like this beautiful cycle of we trust spirit.
Yep.
You know, we trust that the right people come along at the right time, and we're kind of shown that. So it's really a big thing. And I think this year specifically has been a really powerful one. And the word that keeps coming up for me, and I've been sharing a lot with readings, is being in allowance.
Yeah.
You know, we tend to, as humans, try and micromanage everything and put it in a box and go, I need to know what the end result is. And we miss that journey. And it's really important that we, each day, you know, that things change. Life's ever changing. And I think we got to remember that. So when we can probably look back at past at times and go, I get a bit of an understanding why we, you know, when we're able to look back and go, that happened for a reason. And in pretty much, you know, 99% of the cases, there is a reason behind things. And when we start to understand that, it's like, okay. And that's, I'm just weaving that story into my journey.
Yeah.
So I had hair salons, many staff over the years. Like, I sold my salon after 21 years.
This is why you have such great hair.
Yes, I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the fact that, yes, I can do my own hair. And yes, I was an unqualified counsellor for all those years. So it gave me the great footing now to be able to do readings and really be aware of delivery and how you know, how you leave people better than you found them. And hairdressing is really powerful. And there's a huge number of hairdressers in our industry.
Mm-hmm. There
Huge,
is.
Huge.
There is. It's huge.
Yes, because we're working on the crown and third eye chakras.
Of course.
So we're connecting. So huge amount of hairdressers and massage, you know, people that you're connecting with somebody's auric field. So, of course, it makes sense that that's kind of the next step.
Unofficial body workers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So for me, I went and did a course, and I was drawn to do that after the passing of my mum. So my mum had been unwell for about 12 years on and off, and she ended up passing of breast cancer. And that was really pivotal for me because I was very close to my mum. And I honestly feel like she was up there going, okay, now I'm not here. I'm going to give you the boot up the arse to be doing what you was sent here to do. So with that, I was just drawn to go and do a workshop, and literally for shits and giggles, I went and thought, I'm going to go and learn about mediumship and psychic stuff. And it was like a beginner's course. So that's really how I started. I had an amazing teacher. She was very selfless and an absolutely fabulous teacher and medium. And she was a little place, you probably heard Sacred Keys down in Epping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was back then. And her name was Denise Martin. And I like to acknowledge those that have helped me along the way, because I think there's not enough of that.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's all share this journey. We all started as one. We're collaborating together for
That's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah. And so Denise was really pivotal. She gave me the confidence she was like, oh my God, you have to be doing this. And I was like, really?
Wow.
And she still shares that story. Like, we had to go around the room and say, why are you here? And I was like, I'm a hairdresser. I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, this is just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's why, and I share that when I do the main stage, or when I'm doing the Mind, Body, Spirit festivals throughout Australia, I love to share that story and say, this is how it can begin.
Yeah.
We don't have to be third generation mediums. We don't have to have had any previous experience with it to allow our natural gifts to come forward. So, you know, and that for me was at the age of 40.
40.
Yeah.
So often I hear this story that many people have that not life crisis, but midlife experience, where all of a sudden new abilities are coming through, new wisdom. It's almost a wisdom era where you step into a lot of your abilities.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
It is. It's so annoying that we take that long to get our shit together.
I think we need to. We need to get through that.
Definitely.
We do, because otherwise, and I remember asking Spirit, because my personal awakening happened throughout the years, but as a child, it was too much, way too much. And it had to be shut down.
Yep.
But it wasn't until my mid-years, late 30s onwards, that the abilities hit really hard too. And I really believe that if it happened any earlier, I wouldn't have been able to mum properly or parent properly or focus.
Yeah, 100%.
Because those crucial years of young children, personally for me, there's a lot of people that can do it. But for me, trying to juggle this with babies
100%.
would have been really challenging.
100%. And it was the same for me when I stepped into this after being a hairdresser. I was in a small community, so I'd had the hair salon in Wallen for all those years. And so I was very much like, how are people going to accept I've put a new hat on, right? Because I was always known as a hairdresser.
Literally a new hat.
Yes.
I want to talk about this hat soon.
And it was like, so I was a little bit like, oh, this is going to be interesting to see how I'm perceived because of that. So I did have a little bit of that anxiety around, are people going to accept that this is, now what I've chosen to do, and it's not the hairdresser, which is an easy explanation for anybody. But in true form of a close-knit sort of, by then I suppose Wallen wasn't really country, but it still had that, that little bit, everyone kind of knew of people, and because I'd been around the area for so long, people were just really supportive, and they said, okay, we trust you to do a reading for me. And I was blown away by that. I really was, because I expected people to go, she's lost the plot, what's going on with her, and I think the background of having the salon, people getting to know me personally, then they were able to extend that out. So I was very grateful for that, because it was probably, that was a big thing to get my head around. And even for the kids, they're like, Mum, at first they were like, can we just tell them you're a hairdresser? I said, yes, just do that, right? So the kids were like, we don't, they were like, and they were at primary school then. So for the kids to go, suddenly mum's come out as a medium, and I was like, just I'm a hairdresser, that's fine. So initially they were like a bit embarrassed. Yeah. And then once I started doing stage work and getting invited to do cool things, all of a sudden, it's okay now. It's okay now. That flipped around. So then it was like, it's okay, we can tell people now what you do. And that's fine. And it's something that I think is you really have to reconcile as a medium, is to just be okay about what people think. People are going to accept it, people aren't. That's okay. And I do believe we all need to hold space for each other, whether we've come into this lifetime to learn being a Catholic and that's our following, or whether it's Buddhism or, spirituality with mediumship. We need to really honour everyone's path and say, I'm not going to try and change your mind because that's what you've come in here to investigate. And the same with me. And I think when we do that, it allows people to reflect that to us.
It does.
And we don't get that judgment that we kind of expect.
Did you find, because this is something that I experienced, but did you find that when you did come out of the closet and step into the world of mediumship or this holistic approach, that it was a pleasant surprise, that people accepted you a lot more than you thought they would?
100%.
Even the people that were what we determine as
Skeptic.
normies.
Yes. And I'm surrounded by them. I mean, I'm in the country, I ride horses. So I'm around people that are very grounded and very literal. So, yeah, absolutely.
But it's interesting. When I feel your energy, when I'm around you, something that I really admire about you is how grounded you actually are. Because you are working in this incredible realm where you're speaking to spirit, you're connecting in, you're a healer, I can tell as well. And you have this grounding energy. And I think it's because of what you do. And you're working on land, obviously, with animals, and having this really grounded part of your life with grounded people around you. And that beautiful stabilization allows you to really dive into this work while still having this really grounded view as well.
100%. And I believe that's what attracts. I get a lot of like skeptics that come in and have readings with me, especially guys. And I love that, because to me it's like, okay, they usually will meet me first and get to know who I am. Then they're like, oh, that's what you do. And it's like, oh, what does that involve? And there's a curiosity. And I love that. And it's like, that's cool.
Because you've got that credibility already. So they've already got, okay, well, if she's into this, then there might be something to it, because she's a credible source, she's honest, she's authentic. Definitely.
Yes, exactly. And I think that to me has always been the appeal. I've never been a crushed velvet Camilla. I've got some amazing friends and they rock them.
Yeah.
But for me, it was always like, I want to wear my jeans and my boots. I want to be, I want to be who I am. And I think that's a real challenge as a fledgling medium or psychic or healer even, you've got to bring that essence of yourself in there.
Yeah.
Right? And not get caught up in, I need to have a million crystals around to be spiritual, or bowls, or, I don't need the prompts. If it's not in your nature, you have to honour that and go,
Absolutely.
you know what? And for me, I'm a tree person. I'm nature. I would rather a rock out of, we've travelled Australia and I've collected the most amazing rocks from really, really beautiful places. And I always check in that they're happy for me to take them. But I would value that over a man-made crystal any day.
Absolutely.
So that for me is we don't need to have all of what sometimes people feel they need to. And I just think get back to being uniquely who you are and bring that to the table. And that's the difference.
Oh, it really is. It's something incredibly special happens when a psychic, clairvoyant, medium, whatever you are, brings in their own energy, their own flavour, their own niche into this and makes it their own.
Absolutely.
And sure, we all learn from certain platforms and teachers, like you had Denise, and we all have these incredible inspirational coaches and supports. But when you make this your own, when you really go in authentically, that's when it becomes spectacular, extraordinary. It really is.
And it's like that saying where they say that the Creator hid all the essence of and the knowledge within us, because we look everywhere else but. We tend to be looking at others for that reassurance, or that I'm trying to find the power within and I'm looking outside of me instead of looking within.
Spot on.
I see that a lot, people doing course after course. And I think training is spectacular, amazing. Do it, do as much as you can, but sometimes sit back and go, okay, I've done a bit now. I'm going to integrate what I've learned and I'm going to sit with that. And then when I sit with that, I start to develop my own version of it.
I love that.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
it's, and we all have the ability to do that. So to me, it's that's, I just think it's so important. When we weave our stories as part of this journey, there's so many aspects to it, and like I was saying before, with the teachers that all those that I've met that I class as sort of my peers, they've all been woven in somewhere, and I connected. I had a love for them before I stepped into this. When I was fortunate enough to train with Lisa Williams, I'd watched her shows, right? Wow. And when we built our house, it came to painting it. At the end, we'd run out of money, of course, as you do. So I had to paint. I hate painting. I always end up painting houses. I don't know why. But it's not my favourite job. I'm not great at it. But I listened to all her podcasts. And even now her podcast has got the same intro music. So when I hear that music, I'm like, it takes me back.
Oh, I'm going to listen to this.
Then. Yeah. So that was where, and again, I was just hairdressing then. And I always had a fascination with everything spiritual, but never believed that it would be something that I would do.
Wow.
So I used to listen to Lisa. I got to train with her, and I'd pretty much been doing this for about 18 months, and I got into her advanced mediumship.
Wow. She saw something.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, I just applied for fun. And then when I got in, I was like, and I'm training with girls that have been doing it for 25 years, and they're going, how long have you been doing it? And I'm like, 18 months.
This is something I've noticed, being a teacher myself in energy healing and channeling. I've noticed that time means nothing when it comes to this work. In other modalities, in other anything really physical reality, we need time. We need to go through stages, and we go through this process. But ability, some of my new students that are literally coming in are blowing my mind.
Yes.
And I'm like, are you sure you haven't had any exposure to this before? You're incredible. Like, some of my master healers aren't even at this level, and you're level 1. Yeah. And it just comes so quickly. It's almost it's so, and I truly believe we've got other lifetimes that we're doing this work in.
100%. And a really big one, I was only chatting to someone the other day. Anyone with throat issues. So a lot of those in this industry have, like, I've got thyroid. I don't like restrictions around my throat. Yeah. And I will speak to, and even if I do a reading for somebody, I'm like, oh, you've got thyroid, and there's throat issues. Oh, let's go back. So you're very in tune. You've got that the psychic gift really strongly naturally. And, let's go back into, there's clearly you've come into this lifetime, with some kind of residue of a past life. And when we look at what happened to the witches before, it kind of makes sense. I say to people, it's not my area of expertise, but you by golly, you can see a lot of it when you start to look at, the things that we're bringing in, that we're now voicing in this lifetime where we can stand up and say we're a medium. I can't imagine having to hide in do it underground and
in a
hope
dark
that you're not
room.
killed.
Yeah, we are so blessed. We are having front row seats on this great awakening at the moment as well. So I don't know if you've noticed in mediumship how many people are actually getting interested in these modalities now that weren't before. In my clinic, I'm starting to see people that I could never imagine before starting to book appointments for healings and energy healing and transformational coaching because their auntie or their mother or their cousin are dragging them in, and they're not spiritual, but they're having huge life-changing breakthroughs on that chair. There's something going on. Yeah, there's something big going on collectively.
Yes. And I think it's wonderful because really, for those that are like that you're teaching, they might not want to go on to be a medium or a healer, but just to be able to utilize that skill set in your day-to-day life makes life so much easier. And it's like, I say to people, you've got your spirit team, they're your free cheerleaders. It doesn't cost you anything to connect in with them, so why not utilize them?
We weren't supposed to do this challenge, this physical experience alone with our human physical mind. No. It's that physical mind that gives us the survival mechanism to be able to stay alive here in this physical experience, but it's primal. Yeah. And when we connect in with the higher mind, it's like a co-pilot. It's like a helicopter showing us which direction to go into, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier.
Exactly. Yeah. Where am I going again? Yeah, absolutely.
Meanwhile, physical mind's trying to get through the grass and trying to see your meters ahead. But if you've got that connection to your higher mind, whatever you want to call it, soul, higher mind, it's just an incredible life that you get to experience.
Absolutely. And to do that, continue that journey of self-healing, because that's powerful as well. And that's something that I've found on my journey is the more I lean into learning more about myself and doing that work that, okay, I'm triggered here. Why am I triggered? Let's go down that road. Let's see what life is mirroring me. And we take accountability for what's going on around us, and everything is, as science is backing that now, that we're being reflected on, and what's happening around us is usually a mirror. Of course. I find that even with the animals, our pets often mimic who we are. So if you want to know a bit more about somebody, meet their animal and you'll get a lot of information about that person. And we attract those animals for a reason. I think they're the master healers, really. That's the closest thing I get to when Spirit have shown me, and this is just my interpretation of the energy when we connect with the spirit world. There's this unconditional love, and it's just like, I can't explain the feeling. Probably the closest I could say is for those that have had a child, when you first look at that newborn, that instant feeling you get, that's probably the closest I could describe it as. But also our animals give that to us as well.
They really do.
That's unconditional love. You see animals that someone will be really hard on them and then they run back to them. They're so forgiving. They're so unconditional, and I feel like they're here for that reason. So,
absolutely,
it's pretty cool.
It is. It is. I'm thinking about my golden retriever right now, and she's like a little earth angel.
Yes.
She's not little, but she thinks she's little. She thinks she's a lapdog. But you're 100% right. Animals, they are reflecting unconditional love, and that's what we're channeling as healers. We're literally channeling this beautiful universal energy. It's unconditional love. And something interesting, I had a conversation last week with someone about what unconditional love actually is, and it sounds fluffy and lovely and like a beautiful cloud of unicorn dust. But what it actually is neutrality. It's neutral. It means unconditional. So it means that this love it lacks judgment.
Yes. And it doesn't need payment.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that I'm going to do something for this person so I
Yeah.
can get that. It's like I'm doing it because of the love of it.
Yeah.
And if you can start your day, I did it the other day. I was out and I was sort of doing something. I was like, oh, not my favourite thing to do, but I went back to focusing on everything, being in appreciation of everything and looking through the lens of, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. You know, this is a day I'm not going to have again, and I'm going to look at every part of this as fun.
Yeah.
And when we start to, you know, as much as you might have had the worst morning start, you might be feeling totally crap, but when we start to connect to, you know, this is so cool, and we're so lucky, you know, we really are lucky to experience what we experience, and it's through that lens of going, it might be that there's a raindrop coming down that just like, wow, you know, like showing that appreciation and connection for all that we have for that moment, because we know in this line of work that nothing is promised. We don't know how long this journey for any of us are. And it's that reminder to say, if we can look at things on a daily basis and go, you know, let's connect into that unconditional love. And what happens, or what I find with that, is then it sets me up for that sense of peace.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think that is the ultimate goal as humans. We want that sense of peace, that feeling of, and we're always going to come up with challenges throughout life. Like, it's never linear, it's always up and down. But if we can remind ourselves to sit in that and connect to that feeling of, you know, I feel at peace, I can feel relaxed. And it might only be a moment in time in one day that we get to do that, but we do it over and over and over, so then it becomes so easy to access. And then when we do have times where everything goes to shit and we're like, what is going on here? We can handle it better.
Bring yourself back.
Exactly.
And this is the practice. This is probably one of the most important things both of us teach.
Yes.
To make meditation every moment of your life.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be sitting there cross-legged with, and I'm a meditation teacher, so I mean this.
I love that. You're real about it.
It is.
Yes.
It can be in everyday moments. If you can bring yourself to this now moment, the only real true thing is this moment that we have right now.
Absolutely.
The illusion is that we get hijacked by our brain going into the past and going into the future. And that's the human physical mind, the machine mind that constantly wants to drag you into that past and that future.
Absolutely.
And we miss this moment, this now moment.
Exactly.
And I truly believe, and I'm curious to see what you think about this, but I truly believe as a channel, because you're a channel as well, I'm a channel, we just do it in different ways.
Yep.
All channeling is getting so present and in the moment that our higher mind can channel through, or whatever needs to channel through can channel through, because we're home to receive it.
That's
home
right.
meaning in this moment right now.
Absolutely.
And the only peace that can ever truly be felt is in the now moment.
Absolutely.
It doesn't belong in the past and future.
No. And it's something that we can sometimes take for granted or not. And that is how, and it's a great point you're bringing that up, because that is how spirit connects with it. It's so fine. It can be so subtle. And if we're not allowing ourselves to sit in our body and feel what we need to feel, then we're not getting that clarity around the messages that spirit might be sharing with us at any point in time, for us or for others.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like fine tuning, isn't it? It's like really, and it's certainly a work in progress.
I don't think we ever fully master it.
No.
Isn't that fun trying though?
It is,
And
absolutely.
practicing.
Yes, absolutely.
And something I say to a lot of students or listeners, you're not supposed to be good at this straight away.
Yeah.
You will call yourself back from hijack.
Yes.
10,000 times a day.
Yeah.
But that's 10,000 victories.
That's right.
The average person walking around isn't catching themselves and going, oh, I lost myself to thinking about the past, or I lost myself in catastrophizing about the future, and I'm just going to bring myself back into my body right now. I'm going to smell the smells and taste the taste and feel how the energy's moving from it. The average person doesn't do that practice.
Exactly.
They will spend 99% of their life hijacked in a different illusion. When I say hijacked, I'm talking just thinking.
Yes.
And this is a beautiful practice to bring into your life. And it doesn't matter how many times you bring yourself back.
No, that's right. And I think we've got to be kind to ourselves, you know, and especially like you're just saying with meditation, I say to those that I do a bit of teaching with, and it's like, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
If it's a minute to start with, just go with that. And
It's
don't make yourself wrong.
Yes,
It's like we make ourselves wrong. And it's like, you know, we've got to start to just pull ourselves up with that.
Speaking of this, you are the head act, the main act on a lot of our events that we both work at, which is really exciting and really cool. That's a big deal. And a lot of people come to these festivals to see you and to see Geordie and to see the amazing mediums, which I've had on the show as well. And what is it like being on the stage, being in that spotlight where you have got hundreds of people staring at you and you've got to connect in with spirit? That must feel like a lot of pressure.
When you go back to the beginning, I'm like, I don't know how I did it, to be honest. But I started doing stage work by accident.
Oh.
So it wasn't something that I went, oh, I'm going to be a medium and I want to be on stage. Like a lot of mediums love the idea of platform and they're very drawn to it.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case for me. I actually had a friend that I trained with who sent me a message and said, hey, would you like to do the platform for a retreat I'm holding?
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I'd finished my training and I'd done a day or two. That's where I met Geordie, actually, with Lisa. So we got to meet. That was really cool, our first time face-to-face. And I'm like, why is she asking me? Because I haven't officially done a platform. I've done the training and I'd trained with her, so we knew each other. And I said, have you got the right number? And then she messaged back. She said, no, actually, there was another girl she meant to message.
Stop it.
Yeah, same. I can't remember her name, but her name started with T.
That was Spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, little
so
monkeys.
Anyway, I was like going, ha, ha, ha. And then she messaged back and she said, you know what? She said, if you want to do it. And I'd made a deal. When we trained with Lisa, one of the things she said is we have to say yes to opportunities. We have to put ourselves out there. There's no point doing all the training and then go and hide in the corner.
Absolutely.
So she was very great for that. And I'd made that deal. I said, okay, Spirit, you present the opportunities, not really meaning getting up on stage, but I was like, okay, whatever is meant for me, I'm happy to do. So I was like, shot myself in the foot with that one. But I was like, okay. And then I'm hung up and I'm like, holy shit, how do you practice for this? Like, this is not getting up and this is not like going to do a how to stand up and talk to people kind of workshop.
No, this is
next
level.
You can't. And this was a retreat. There was about, I think, 60 women, and it was the most fabulous first time, and Spirit really supported me. Like it was about an hour and 15-minute drive. So that I found that great because I was able to put my music, get into my moment, and we hadn't spoken much before I did that, but it was what worked great for me was she didn't introduce me saying, Tanya's never done it before, blah, blah, blah. She just did the intro. This is Tanya. It was a segment of this retreat was the Mediumship show. So I just stood up there, but she did have faith in my ability, and I was like, okay, I'll lean on that as well. Yeah. And I just really said, okay, clearly the opportunity's there. I have to trust.
Yeah.
So that was my first ever platform, and it was hugely successful. And it was amazing. I had animals, and first of all I had a black cat, and I'm like, oh Christ, they're going to think I'm nuts. And I often say this at MBS: there's a cat come through, I'm like, oh, it's a black one. They're really going to go, yep, she's nuts. And but with that event, it was amazing. There was baby. There was just an amazing array of spirits that came through. Wow. And in the end, I did my session and I'm walking off and they're all surrounding me, asking me questions. And the girl running it goes, can you please go? They're meant to be making candles now. And I'm like, okay. But I was like, spirits surrounded me with a hug and said, hey. And I still connect with some of the ladies from that actually come and have done retreats and things with me. So been on a journey.
Basically what you're saying is an accidental text is the reason why you are doing what you're doing now.
Absolutely.
And affecting thousands of people.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have said, wouldn't have chased that platform. Yep. Yep. And there's been times where I've thought, this would be way easier just to go and sit and do readings one-on-one. Because there's so many moving parts to platform, and I love it. I'm passionate about it, and I am I've had a lot of people reach out, or a lot of mediums reach out that want to do platform, and I'd love to. It's probably a passion of mine to step them through that, and I have been sitting down and writing up a bit of a workshop that I'd love to be able to do to share what I've learned, and it really is organically sharing what I found works for me.
If you ever want to do it at Healing Tree Hub, we would love to have you.
Yes, I'd be honoured too. Proof. Yes, absolutely. I'm there. I love, to me, anyone that's, if you've got a fascination with it, there's a reason for it.
Yep, absolutely.
And, the doing platform it's the practice. It really is. Geordie and I were chatting about it, and she said one of her students said, "Oh, Tanya's so relaxed." And I'm like, yeah, because I've done so many now.
Yeah, it's
right. They probably wouldn't have said that in the first 10.
Of course.
But one of the things that I did do with Spirit is when I was younger, I used to do dancing, and I didn't really like it, but my mum really loved me doing it, so I was like. And I was up the back.
My mum did the same thing.
I was up the back. Yeah, I was at the back because I was tall and I seriously couldn't dance. So I was like, hide me. I used to think they're hiding me in the back because I'm doing the wrong steps here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I had no idea what I was doing. My mum thought I was the most beautiful ballroom dancer. I sucked. I sucked so badly. And it was somewhere around here, around the studio. I was like, this is where I did ballroom. Oh, anyway.
I know, but then you look at it, see, that's when you go back. Clearly, we were getting stage practice back then.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So one of the things I did do with Spirit, because when I used to do dancing, we'd do with Stedfords, and I would be throwing up. I was so nervous. I used to be so sick. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be sick until we got to do on stage, and I was relieved afterwards.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, and I don't know why, we used to do little Stedfords in our street that I used to orchestrate, and I'd make my poor sister who was shy. I'd say, get up, and we'd be doing, like a bit of acting and stuff in front of the neighbours, the poor neighbours that were tortured.
It's all training.
But yeah, I look back and go, now I understand why the hell I did that. Didn't make sense at the time. But so one of the deals that I made with Spirit was, if you want me to be an ambassador and be on stage, I do not want to feel sick and nervous.
Yep.
And that was part of my deal. I said, if you want me doing this, because when and a lot of mediums I've worked with a lot on stage, and they do build up that, and you can they're very and for me it doesn't work, because I need to be a vessel that can connect with these messages. And if I'm in a nervous state, it's a confliction with Spirit coming through, because I know they get excited. So you do carry that, right? So they'll be excited. With preparation, like people say to me, how do you go with mind, body, spirit? Say it's massive. Well, I do my prep before I get there. And it took me a while to learn that, because I would go, I'll do my prep there, and then I'd get people coming up talking to me. And and then it'd be 3 minutes to stage and someone's telling me their life story.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's like, as much as you're like, I've got it, So I just went, okay, it's easier to do my prep before I get there. Yeah. And then I have a couple of rituals that I do, and that has supported me and made that easy. And so from there, then it's really before the Mind, Body, Spirit festivals, that's when I connected with Animal Dreaming with my card deck and my book.
Oh my God, your card deck. You gifted me that at the festival. Thank you so much. And your book. And I just have to say, that card deck, my mum stole it off me. Yes, Deborah.
I've got some here today.
And she said, out of all the cards she's ever had, and she's a budding fledgling medium, even though she's freaking amazing, she said that card deck, it just calls to her. It was apparently you made it for her.
Tell her thank you very much. It is a very unusual card deck in that it calls who it needs to. It's back in 2020, when we all had not much to do here in Victoria, I was like, I'm going to make this year count. So at that point, I couldn't get on to anyone for the artwork, so I channeled the artwork myself.
That's so special.
Yeah, and they were not what I expected. I thought, I'm going to do some bright colours and a bit of this and a bit of that. Yeah. No, all had to be earthy, had to be nature, which really is on brand for me. Yeah. And it resonates with my energy. But so I did all the artwork and the channeling, and there's poetry in the booklet, that this Spirit channeled. And so they have a calling of their own, and those that are drawn to them.
I'll make sure to put a link so that people can order this, because I'm sure that they're going to get FOMO and they're going to want to.
The idea they were designed for those that really were going through grief and loss and wanted to channel a specific spirit. So, and Spirit showed me this. So this was given to me as, right, you need to do this.
Yeah.
So I've got 10 main cards, and these are like mum, dad, son, daughter, grandfather, grandmother. I've got pets in there, soulmate. So anyone that's passed, you can utilise those main cards as, right, I want to connect to mum, so I'm going to put the mum card down.
Wow.
Then there's 45 other messages, and how they came about was I was doing American radio at the time, doing readings, and so I actually did all the cards, and I would just shuffle them before I went on with somebody, and I would utilise the messages.
No way.
And said, okay, I've got, I would utilise the card. Okay, I've got dad. I've got this is the message. You relate to the information. So I was using that prototype to make sure that it worked, because it's like, it's all good to create a card deck, but you've got to know, you want to be able to go, okay, I know this is going to work.
Of course. It does work, by the way, I can tell you. Because my mum didn't even really know how to use them. She just started and she was like, I just have to use these. I don't know. It's just calling me. And she has created her own way to use your cards.
Love that. And in all honesty, I've had so much different feedback. Like there's a gorgeous young girl, Chelsea, over in the US, and she got her hands on some, and so she has been using them in her, like she's doing lives with my card deck. She tags me in and she goes, Tanya, this has been incredible for my mediumship. It's given me confidence, and it was funny because I didn't anticipate that with them. I was just like, I'm helping people going through grief and loss. Here are the cards.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I've had a lot of mediums reach out and go, they've really, helped them along the way. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even consider that when I was creating them. So I was really happy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
So
love that.
they're a real legacy. I encourage anyone that wants to leave something, because you think, we're temporary here, but once you create something, it's here.
Absolutely. And speaking of legacy, we've only got a couple more minutes, but I do want to ask you about your book. You co-authored.
Yes. There was 5 of us.
Tell us a little bit about how that came across.
That was during COVID, and again, so it was like, okay, well, let's create a book. And a book is really a book is classed as your business card these days. So you don't really, it's not that, and I have to say with that book, we've all got our money back and more from that.
Wow, that's
amazing. So
you don't expect it when you're authoring.
You don't.
You don't. Out there
and even the publishing companies say, look, just it'll be what it'll be. Yeah. And we were very much like that. So we were at that point catching up regularly, and we all had different stories, and we're all very different.
Wow.
So we had a common connection that we all connected. But so I think it's probably me, because I was like, I need to get this book going, and I don't want to have to write my whole story yet. I just felt like it wasn't the time. Yep. So that's when we were just all chatting, and they were like, yeah, let's do this.
Amazing.
So we just and I love collaborations. I think it's great. It's a way to dip your toe in the water.
Yeah, and also bring the audiences together. I'm so excited that my audience are getting to know you and getting to meet you.
Yes.
And I'm sure that, and a lot of the audience listening, not all of them, some of them just have an interest in this area, but a lot of them are learning mediumship. They're learning about their different clairs at the moment. Yeah. They're also, some of them are healers. Some of them have got natural abilities, and they're just sort of dipping their toe in. So do you have any final words for them? Any advice for them?
Oh, I just say do it. If it makes your heart sing, do it. Don't be put off by anything. Don't get into your head about, if you can, release the need to be right. Just fully leaning into trust is such a powerful thing with connecting to spirit, and they will never let you down. So I say to people, probably one of my biggest things I say, just remember you're the messenger in here. So spirit are going to give you the right answers.
Yeah.
You just need to fine tune that you're getting what you're being given clearly.
I love that. It's about being the conduit
than
the one that
it is. And so you don't have to, I say to people, don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best I can here.
Yeah. Amazing.
And it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, there's still times where you can stuff it up.
Of course.
So,
it's when the ego gets involved and tries to manipulate it or control it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I honestly feel what is meant to be will find a way.
Yeah.
So don't get caught up in the how do I do this? It's often hard for those in the spiritual field to step into making a business of it.
Yes.
And I say to people, take baby steps. Like don't throw in the work that brings in the money to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And go, I'm just going to jump into this. Like do it in a way that you can support yourself.
Yeah.
You're not putting pressure on yourself that I've got to make this money from it, because that can often, be a bit of a block as well.
Yeah.
Ease into it and spirit will guide you. And you might go like, oh, I want to go and do healing, and then suddenly you find you're doing mediumship.
Yeah. And that happens.
Or you might be saying, I think I'm going to be a psychic, and then I'm a healer all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Spirit will guide you to where you need to be. So lean into that.
Beautiful advice. And finally, where can people find more information about what you do and your services as well?
I'm my website, the Cowgirl Medium. So I was Australia's Cowgirl Medium, then we made it the Cowgirl Medium. That's a whole nother show, actually, branding.
Yeah.
That's been amazing along the way. I was the psychic cowgirl to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a whole story. That's a whole.
We need to
time.
get you back on. We don't have enough time. I've just started. I've just begun, and all of a sudden, So I think there is going to be a part 2 if you're keen. I'm keen.
Absolutely.
Because I've got so many questions that I want to ask you.
Yes. And like I said, I'm an open book, so I love to share. And I say to people, take what resonates and leave the rest behind.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For
Thank
spending
you.
time. Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I feel really honoured. I've heard so much about you as well, and some of the girls that come to me are like, "Oh, we're with Sarah. She's amazing." So yeah, I've heard only amazing things about you as well.
Thank you. And this is also a reflection of our students and clients that we share, because we actually share quite a few.
Yes.
And they're incredible.
Yes.
And they're absolutely amazing, and we're able to all support each other through that process. And I believe that we attract the right teachers and the right people and the right students.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all interwoven. It really is. And when we look at it, it's like, we're all equal. And that's what I say to people, like we're all the same, whether we're all on the path. Yep. Some might be a bit further down, some might be a bit behind, but it doesn't mean that anyone's better than anyone else. We're all equal, we're all the same. And I'm really aware of that with what I do, that people come up to me after my shows and I might get, there's a lot of people, but I take the time it takes to be able to give people time to know that I'm just like anybody else. Yeah. And, I'm there for the healing and to make a difference. And that is to let people know that they're heard and seen as well.
To be of service.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you
so
so much. I can't wait to have you for part 2. We'll book it in.
We will book it in.
Thanks very much, Tonya. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.